For nearly half of the 20th century, the Cold War divided the world. Two superpowers, the United States and the Soviet Union, locked in a fierce ideological rivalry over which system would define the future. Most discussions of the Soviet Union focus on political tensions, nuclear standoffs, or its economic and political systems. But behind those headlines lay millions of ordinary lives. Today, we step away from that and into something far more personal: the lived reality and cherished memories of an individual who was raised in Soviet Russia. This episode's guest is Galina Barshay. Previously in episode 2, Galina shared her courageous journey immigrating and adapting to life in America. Now she takes us back to her roots, starting in a tight-knit village outside of Moscow, providing vivid stories and valuable advice from her life in Russia. Thank you for listening to the Exchange Room podcast, and I now present to you our discussion. So why don't you tell me a little bit about your childhood in Russia?
First of all, thank you so much for having me the second time, Teddy. And I'm very excited. I consider my childhood the best possible. We live in a small village, and my parents have teeny room in the big house. One room, one kitchen, small kitchen, and my parents was very poor. But what is special about childhood, we never worry about safety. We have children around us. I can go to somebody's house. Children come to my house. And even I never was jealous. I never feel that we're poor because we was raised in love. Whenever it's come, everything was about love. My parents love me unconditionally. My grandmother, she lived with us in small teeny apartment. But everything was filled out with love. The quality of food was amazing. We live in the village when everything was fresh. I will never forget when I want to drink milk from the goat. I open my mouth, I go to my neighbor house, and we don't worry about to be sick because everything was fresh or spoiled. The most important thing about my childhood, it's love. We was playing outside and we don't have any toys. We use pets to play. Can you imagine? And to be happy, not to have anything, but to be surrounded with friends, to play together, and to know whenever you do, your parents love you.
Can you tell me about what the village was like that you grew up in?
The village was probably around 1,500 houses. And in the big house, people, there was maybe several families, 3, 4, 5 families living. And everyone have 1 or 2 rooms. We have 2 schools, elementary school and middle school. Another thing special, we don't have heat. We have like fireplace at home. And all the time during the winter, you need to add wood. Otherwise, and we have pipes going through your house. If you don't add it wood, the pipe can burst and it's dangerous. In this case, somebody need to be home all the time, 24/7, to add it. Another interesting thing, we have place, we go only 3 times a week, it was open, to take a shower. If you miss for any reason these 3 days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, you cannot take a shower because at home it's not possible to take a shower. And medicine was different. We have only one place to call if you need, call 911. And it usually take up to 2 hours for ambulance come. If you have a heart attack, if you have a stroke or in labor, it's your choice. You will survive or you will die. I have my own experience. We live in Moscow, in the middle of the Moscow. My husband come from his job. And my water break, I was pregnant with my son. He called 911 and they tell him, it's going to be up to 2, 3 hours that ambulance will come. Can you imagine in the middle of the Moscow? My husband was shocked and they tell, go to find the taxi. In Russia, you cannot call the taxi. You need to go outside on the street and try to catch. Whenever my husband asks anyone to drive us to the hospital, as soon as somebody hears that we need to go for delivery, everyone was scared because they were scared if I have a baby in the car. Finally, one guy tell, okay, I will charge you 200 rubles. It was maximum that average salary was. And we pay this. In this case, can you imagine when you what is break and you need to wait 2-3 hours for 911 to come? This is something unique. And we was there for each other in this village. Everyone knows each other and everyone was watching over each other. It was fun experience to live in this village.
How long did you stay in that village?
Now, as we stayed in this village until I was 16 years old. At age 16, my parents take part in the Second War. We get government department. But we still, because it's our own house, we still keep it. And we moved to apartment where we have a bus stop. Can you imagine? The first several days, all of us were stuck in the bus stop. We don't want to leave because we don't have experience to have our own bus stop and your own restroom. Because before, when we live in the village, we need to go outside, even when it's cold. And till age 16, I live in this village, and I love this village.
Was it in the city that you moved the apartment?
By car, it was 15 minutes. We moved to the town. It was not a big town, but it's different lifestyle. And my memories still go back to my village. When you grow up for 16 years, it's something special, unique. And the town was different. Some people have a phone, and at least we can go to see a doctor. It was easy to be close to Moscow. From my new apartment to Moscow, it was 17 miles. It was wonderful.
Can you share more about what you and what people like to do in Russia for fun? Americans, when they think of Russia during that period, they really only know about the Cold War and that side of things. They don't really know about what life was like for people day to day and what they enjoyed doing.
Okay, for fun, we don't have too much choices. First of all, we have a wonderful forest. We like skiing. We like to go to the movie theater. And in Russia, was open only 3 times a week. Another place, because we live not far from Moscow, 17 miles, but we need to take a bus, a train. We like to go to see, to the play, to the circus, to the big theater. It was amazing experience. It was a favorite. And my dad take part in the Second War, and my mom and grandmother survived the Second War. But they don't talk a lot about this. It was crazy. They try to leave the past behind. They enjoy now and think about future. That's why I don't have a lot of experience. Only I have experience that after the Second War, my parents were so poor that we was not able to buy food. And we have distant cousins who immigrate to America, Los Angeles, and they send every month packages with food. And because my parents were scared to get this food, it was during Stalin time. They need to send all the food back and make a note. We have everything. This is a memory that I will never forget, that my mom told me. That's why they don't talk a lot about past. They look forward the future. My mom, during the Second War, she lost her first husband. He lost her first child. But they never was depressed. This was interesting about my family, that they never was depressed. All the time they know, they live in now, they enjoy now, and they think about better future. But for us, we like to go to museum, Tretyakov Galleria, circus, different places, symphony orchestra. We go. We have amazing life, and everything was very cheap. And whenever people come from different places, Abba was there. I pay almost half of my monthly salary to go to see. Whenever a group came from England, from United States, from any places, I was able to go and to enjoy.
You mentioned you had family in America, and so you were aware of some of the difference between America and Russia under Stalin at the time, or was that after Stalin?
After.
After Stalin. So you're aware of some of the differences. Would you want to share what you noticed?
Because before it was big propaganda. People in America are evil. How you can think about to go to travel, to see America. It's not the place. But because my mom have distant cousin and they was able to communicate, my mom don't believe the propaganda. And especially after the Second War, you cannot do anything with America. They don't allow you to travel because they worry about you. They don't want you to be influenced with bad people, and they're thinking about you. They love you and they protect you from American people. But my mom never believed in that because we have cousin, and this is the story.
So after you left the village and you lived in the apartment, did you go to school in Russia?
Yes, I want to tell you, education was in Russia the best. Even you cannot compare to United States. It was free. I don't know now. You go to university, and I tell you, amazing education. And the teacher have a right. If you don't behave, she can come, pull your ear, and take you out of the class. You don't deal. You don't talk back to the teacher, and you can complain to your parents because if you complain, the teacher will tell your child don't know how to behave. Education was amazing. They do anything to push you. The teachers see if you're bright, they will push you. They will give you extra something to do to keep you busy, and they encourage you to learn. It's amazing feeling about education in colleges. I graduated. I have degree in Russia from Pedagogical Institute. Was curious. One day I went taking entrance exam, and I was very bright in math, and I finished the test very quickly. And the girl next to me, she was suffering, and I helped her to do the test. And the professor, I will never forget, he thinks that I was cheating. He called me, he ripped up my test, and he tell, now you sit with me, and I will give you another test. If you fail, you fail. If you pass, good for you. And I was sitting next to him. And of course I passed. And he tell, now I see that I was wrong. Teachers was watching over you. They was not scared to come and make comments. They was not scared to tell parents if you're doing something right or doing something wrong. And parents will be all the time on the side of the teacher. It's something unique. In this country, you cannot pick up the child years old to tell you cannot behave as well.
Now, what did you do for work in Russia after you got your degree? By the way, what was your degree in?
I have degree in mathematics. I was computer science for 7 years, and I was computer programming. I never liked it, but we have amazing team of young people. We was helping each other to do everything. If I have a problem, everyone solving the problem. If somebody have a problem, we all was solving the problem. And I love the place. But one day they move, it was probably more, 2.5 hours from my apartment, where we live. And I find out that I physically, emotionally cannot do this, 5 hours a day. And one day I was on the train, was reading the book, and I was laughing. And the guy across me, he said, I love the way how you laugh. And I look at him, and we start conversation. In Russia, you're not scared to start conversation with stranger. This is different. You can talk with them, and you can invite. And he tell, you love people. I tell, I'm looking for a job. I don't know what I want to do. He tell, do you want to become a teacher in aerobic? I tell, you crazy. I don't know what it means. He tell, I will introduce, I'm leaving the job. I will introduce to my company, and you will become a teacher for aerobics. And they hire me. They send me for 3 days training, and I become teacher of aerobics and yoga. In this case, I have 2 life experience. To be computer science, that I never love, but I love people around myself, and to become teacher in aerobics and yoga that I enjoy and feel blessed that God sent me in the right direction.
How were the people in Russia different than the people here. For example, I've heard if you're smiling in public in Russia, people will think that there's something wrong with you. I don't know if that's an exaggeration at all. Is there a clear difference in the way people express themselves and interact with each other in Russia versus here?
It's an interesting question. I never think about. But in Russia, everyone was smiling. You can stop anyone and you feel comfortable to start conversation with the strangers. And I don't feel the different in this country. I love to smile. People who know me know. I smile to the stranger. And when you smile, you get smile back. I can start the conversation with any stranger. And I feel comfortable about this. As guys, I don't know from other people perspective. Maybe this is true. But for me, who all the time love people, have a pleasure to start conversation, to smile. It doesn't make difference. I am in the United States or in Russia.
I know last time I had you on, you were talking about wanting to go and do speeches and write your own book. And I'm wondering if you've made any progress on that.
Perfect. I love this question. Yes, in my speeches, I really improve. Some competition I win and I take the first place, working more hard. Speeches really improve. I'm very blessed because I have amazing group of team members who's there to help me and support me. I start to write a book about my childhood. And it's amazing feeling and bring me joy to think about my childhood, about my love. And that I never was jealous what other people have. Probably this is the foundation of the happiness. When you feel blessed, what you have, you don't have time to feel upset what you don't have. And you don't have time to be jealous. And still for me, foundation of everything, it's love. Give love and get love back. And I go forward my dream. I want to become professional speaker and still working on my coaching business. This is fun because if I can be happy, to feel blessed, and I can help other people to become more happy and blessed. Any country is rich where we have more happy people who are enjoying their life, and this enjoyment bring you health. You're more healthy. When you're more happy, you're more healthy.
I think a lot of people here lose track of that. Money's important, but it's not your health and your happiness are the bottom line.
Yes. And two things you cannot buy in your life, maybe three. Love, you cannot buy for any money in the world. Happiness and joy in your life, you cannot buy. And health. People concentrate what is missing, what they don't have. Concentrate to make more money. And when they decide to retire or for some reason, they don't have time to enjoy what they have. In this case, money is important, but not the money is the source of the happiness. Blessing, love, your health, a health of people that you love, this is a source of the happiness.
Do you have any special childhood memories, maybe in your book or something that you cherish that comes to mind?
Oh, yes, I was a very curious child, and my mom never punished me. One day, my mom's cousin gave us to keep the painting of very famous artist. It was very, very expensive one. My mom was not home, and I decided to use knife to see what is behind the painting. And of course, I make a hole. But I come to my mom and tell. She was devastating because the price of this painting. But as soon as she find out that I was curious, she tell, don't worry. Curiosity is a good sign. It's unbelievable. I'm not sure that I will be the same. She was, and one time my cousin gave me accordion to play. And again, I was curious. I use my knife to see what is inside. Of course, accordion is not working anymore. My mom asked me, why you did this? It's for playing. And I tell Mom, But can you imagine? I need to know what is inside. This is amazing memory that I never was punished for being curious, and I was in huge trouble if I tried to lie.
I really like that because I think that could be a very traumatizing memory if your mom had the opposite reaction and punished you and it made you feel like you've done something horrible. You've ruined her prized painting, but instead your mom was smart enough to use that as a very positive memory. I think that says a lot about her and also about highlighting your curiosity that you had.
All my life, I am curious. And I tell you, yes, you're right. I am blessed that my parents never punished me for my curiosity. Even they lose money, even they was in trouble. But as soon I tell them, Mom, it's so interesting. And she see my happiness. Forget about punishment. And one time I was lying. I will never forget. I was probably 10, 11, and my mom catch me lying. She beat me almost till death. She tell me, if you cannot be an honest child, you cannot stay in my house. And up to date, you cannot catch me lying. It's something unique that I was grow up with a value. It's okay to be curious, but it's not okay to lie.
What is something you've learned from your unique life experiences that you think everyone should know?
My life experience, I learned from my parents. Never be stuck in past. It's better to make a mistake and fail than not to try. Use your experience of failing or mistake as a foundation for your future success. And never be depressed. My parents, even I tell my dad, take part in the Second War, he lost his eye and he had a piece of metal in his brain. My mom, who lost her first husband and first child. My grandmother, they never was depressed because they taught me that depression will take away your ability to make better decision, to grow, to overcome. And this is the best experience I want to share with other people. When you go through difficult time, ask yourself what I can do different. And never blame yourself and never blame anyone for your mistake.
A lot of people suffer from depression. So when they hear never be depressed, it might not be as easy for them. So do you have any advice on how you avoid that? You know, when you're confronted with something very difficult or you've been stressed out for a long time, what do you do to prevent yourself from going down that path?
Even I went through very difficult, painful time when I lost my husband. We was married for 31 years. I was blessed with this person. Unbelievable marriage. And I allowed myself to be upset, to be unhappy. But I tell myself, after 1 month of pain and suffering, I tell Galina, it's time to move on. And the best way, what is advice to people, you know, everyone in life will experience difficult problem, challenges. Prepare yourself for this day. I mean? Like if you go outside and you know it will be raining, you will take umbrella with you. You know, life full of miracles, challenges. You never know what ahead of you. But if you prepare yourself, surround with people that you trust, who is your support system, look of your previous pain, your achievement as a foundation to overcome them, and believe that you have strengths to overcome everything but you're going in your life, you will be successful. It's okay to be upset. It's okay to be frustrated. And this is normal. We people. But we need to remember that to be depressed will take away your ability to move on, to believe in yourself, and to make changes that you can be proud of yourself.
Thank you for sharing your wisdom. I'm really glad I was able to get you on again because you shared a lot more about your life and a lot more advice. And I really appreciate it.
And thank you so much for opportunity to have me on your podcast. I really enjoy. I tell you, it's amazing feeling. And I hope people will get my message and start to believe in themselves. Start to think what they could do different to bring joy into their life and to feel more blessing. Because when you count blessing, and you cannot be at the same time happy and upset. Choices up to you. Thank you so much for having me on this podcast. It brings me a lot of joy. I really enjoy it. Thank you.
Thank you, Galina.
Thank you.